Well, hello. As I promised, I was going to use the other big catfish fillet to make a different recipe than I made previously. The previous one was catfish stew or soup, which I love. And I forgot to tell you in that video that you can take the tomato mixture after it's cooked, throw it in the blender, blend it up, make a creamy sauce, put it back in the pot before you add your fish. That way you don't have the vegetable chunks in there. I mean, I like that. It doesn't bother me. But some people like a smoother soup, so you can do that before you add your fish. Just throw it in the blender, blend it up, and you're going to be great. I was getting ahead of myself, and I'd already boiled some red potatoes for this recipe. And I was going to show you that I did boil them. These are little red potatoes out of my garden. It just speeds up the cooking process. You don't have to pre-cook them. I like to do that and just add them at the end because they're already cooked. Just like I do my fish. But yeah, I wanted to show you that. You have the option. You can either take your raw potatoes, peel them, chop them up in little chunks, or you can cook them, pre-cook them, and then just dice them up when you go to add them to your soup after your soup is done. Well, anyway, I'll show you what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in my pan, my pot. I'm going to start adding some vegetables that I'm going to cook, like my onion. I've got a part of an onion that was left, a half of one. I'm just going to dice that up. I think everything I cook ends up with onions. But hey, I love onions, what can I say? And I love all the recipes that have onions, so. I'm also going to add a celery stalk that I already got chopped up. And like I said, I'm using a scaled down version of this soup. I'm not making a full version because I don't want tons of fish soup. I just want maybe a couple of bowls of fish soup. So that's what we're doing. Put that right there. I'm going to go ahead and flatten out some garlic. 3 cloves of garlic is what I'm putting in mine. If you don't like garlic, don't add garlic. I know I've had several people tell me they don't like garlic at all, so they don't cook with it. Like I said, if you don't like garlic, don't use it. Like I said in the beginning of my recipe videos, no recipe is written in stone. You can tweak it, change it up to suit yourself. We're just going to brown those. Or saute them a little bit, not really brown them. But I'm going to add some red crushed pepper. And again, if you don't like hot, don't add the crushed pepper. I'm putting about a half of a teaspoon. I've got thyme leaves. Thyme, not thyme. I always want to put that Y in thyme. And I only put about a quarter of a and I've got just a little bit of dill that I'm going to add. I'm going to put about a quarter of a teaspoon. I think that was about a quarter. Salt and pepper to taste. I love pepper, so I put quite a bit in mine. This is sea salt that I'm adding. I got a whiff of that pepper, y'all, when I started stirring. Excuse me, I can't handle the pepper. Now, to tell you something else I'm going to use about 2 cups of milk. Can be low fat, whatever. Oh, I forgot to put my onion powder in. Go ahead and scoop some out because about a teaspoon. Bring you over here and let you see what this is looking like. Now I got my seasonings in there. I've got my onions, my celery, and my garlic. And we're just going to saute these till they're almost done, semi-done, that type of thing. And to save time, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my potatoes. These are little ones, so I'm just going to quarter them. That'll make the pieces of potato just about right. So the only thing I bought for this recipe was, I think, corn, a can of whole kernel corn, which I'm going to use in it, and my spices, and maybe the milk. The potatoes and fish and all that, you know, I either got from my garden or I caught myself. That was one of my good catches at the lake, was my fish. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to put in about 1/4 of a cup of flour. And I may need just a little bit more oil. About another tablespoon in there because I got to cook that flour a little bit. I grabbed the wrong thing, y'all. Because we want our soup to be creamy, thick. We're basically making a roux right in our onions and celery. Turn that heat down just a tiny tad. And about now I'm going to add 2 cups of milk. Leave that there. I may need to add more water, I'm not sure. Normally I would not add this whole can of corn, but I'm going to go ahead and add it because don't want to throw it away. Now we can bring our heat back up a little bit. Because that milk was not hot. So it'll take a minute for that to warm up a little. I'm going to continue cutting my potatoes. I always cut my recipes down because I'm cooking for one person. And I don't want to make a great big pot full because I'm not going to freeze this. My nose itches. Here, let's see. I might turn the camera around and let you see it from this angle. Maybe that'll be better. You might be able to see what I'm doing in the pot anyway. Yeah, I start breathing a lot of spices and pepper, and I will start coughing or sneezing. I'm sorry about that. There, this way I can get my potatoes off of my cutting board. And while that's heating up and starts to thicken a little bit, I can be cutting my fish. And I've got 2 fillets for this one because I needed just a little bit more fish. And I'm just going to cut it in chunks. See, you can fix you a really good fish chowder without having to buy real expensive food. I mean, just about anybody that goes fishing usually catches a catfish or 2. And this is a great way to use that catfish. I'm just cutting my fish in chunks. I don't want too big of chunks, but I don't want too small of chunks either. Of course, you can cut them the way you want. There, we got our fish. Our mixture is starting to boil, and that means it's thickening up as well, so we can turn it down just a tiny bit. We don't want it to burn or scorch in the pan. I'm going to add my potatoes. Whoops. That's looking good already. Heat it back up just a tiny bit, because I do want it to cook my fish. Y'all, that's looking good. Real good. And if it thickens too much on you, you can always add just a tiny bit of water to loosen it up. But what a surprise when you eat your chowder. You think you might get a potato in your mouth and you got a big hunk of fish. It's pretty good. Got a mess over here, but that's okay. Perfectly fine. Now we're just going to let this cook a little bit until that fish is cooked, and it doesn't take long. But you want to keep it stirred because you don't want it to anything to scorch to the pot. This is kind of like chili. It's always better the next day when everything gets all acquainted, you know, all your spices. Don't that look good? I gotta taste it, y'all. Just for the seasoning. That's good. I'm going to turn that down a tiny bit, because I want the fish to cook, but I don't want my stuff to scorch to the pot. And we'll do that in a heartbeat with that flour in there. I don't know, as many potatoes and as much fish as I put in there, I think that whole can of corn was perfect. I've got to check the doneness of my fish now. Where's my fish? There's a big hunk. I didn't realize I put a piece that big in there. Turn it down. Put my lid on it for a minute. I gotta cool my fish to test it for the cookness of it, the doneness. That's good, y'all. I had to go get my little dipper. Plate up my chowder. Just the right consistency. I like it real creamy, my chowder. I don't like it runny. I mean, I don't like it too watery. Ooh, look at that. Big chunks of fish. Now, you don't have to do this. I like to do it. It makes it a little special. I put a few green onions on top. And we're going to come over here and sit down and try this. If I can maneuver around my kitchen. Another thing that you can do with this is sprinkle just a little bit of cheddar cheese on top and then throw your onions on top. Gives it a good flavor. And you can see I'm serving this with Ritz crackers this time because it's a seafood. I really didn't want to serve it with a garlic toast or Texas toast or anything like that. I'd rather have crackers with it. But don't that look good, y'all? It's hot. Oops. I'll let y'all have the first bite. Take a bite. Oh, forgot. Dear Lord, bless this food I'm about to eat. Amen. That was a great big hunk of catfish. So good. Take another bite, y'all. That is good. Y'all. Simple, easy cooking with most of the ingredients you get yourself and you don't have to buy. Everybody goes fishing, don't they? You catch some kind of fish, don't you? And you don't have to use catfish. Catfish is a good choice to use in a catfish chowder. But you can use other types of fish, like salmon if you have it. Any type of fish that will cook real quick, that doesn't completely flake out on you. I got hold of a hot pepper, y'all. Take another bite. That's winning, y'all. And if you like the hot peppers, you can put it in there, but you don't have to. I could have held off on some of that myself. It's a little warm, but it's not too hot. And with that, y'all, I'm going to call it a video. Try you some catfish. I mean, if you go fishing, save you a couple of catfish to make you some catfish chowder. I think you'll enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to call it a day. Y'all have a blessed evening. Look at me. I'm all frizzy. It's already almost 100 degrees today. I wanted to go ahead and get this video done early before it got so awfully hot. I mean, it's already hot. You can tell my central air unit has not turned off one time. But this is Texas, y'all. It's hot in Texas. Love y'all. We'll see you on the next one. Bye now.